What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports here at the Voice of College Football. We are on the Big Ten channel, and if you're a Big Ten football fan, please subscribe. Help us out. Help us build this channel. We're going to look at Michigan State here in today's video and whether or not I think they're going to be better or worse than they were in 2021. Michigan State was just 2-5 in 2020. They followed that up last season with an 11-2 year. Really came out of nowhere, something that I did not see coming at all. Some transfers really helped them out, and they just turned it around quickly. Hats off to Mel Tucker and the job that he did last season. It was unbelievable. I predicted, as you see, I predicted the same. So I predicted this team to not really get better or worse in 2021, and boy, was I wrong. This team absolutely got better. And I think all of you know that, of course. So looking ahead to 2022, will they be better or worse? Well, last year, 11-2, third in the Big Ten East. Can they do better or worse than that, or maybe about the same? Well, let me run through the team and kind of give you my thoughts on this Michigan State football team. Peyton Thorne is back at quarterback. Not an All-American type player, but he's been steadily improving. And I think that it's nice to have a guy like that coming back with experience. Another year under his belt. He should be probably one of the better quarterbacks in the Big Ten in 2022. Now, a big loss with Kenneth Walker, of course. That is a huge loss. But they do have some guys coming back. They've got Jordan Simmons coming back, Elijah Collins, Harold Joyner. I mean, they've got guys that can carry the football. But I'm not really looking to those guys. I'm looking at the transfers coming in, because I think you're going to see a couple of guys come in and do similar things to what Kenneth Walker did. And we're talking about, first, Jalen Berger coming in from Wisconsin, a guy that has experience. Didn't do all that well at Wisconsin last year, early in the year, but this is a guy that I think can definitely help them out. But I'm really looking at Jarrett Broussard coming over from Colorado. This is a very talented kid. I think really an underrated guy, a guy that not many people are going to be thinking about, or maybe you don't know too much about him. Kind of similar to Kenneth Walker coming from Wake Forest, but I think Broussard is actually going to be that guy for them. I think he will emerge and be really, really strong for this Michigan State team. So keep an eye out for him, but they've got so many options there that I think the running back position is going to be just fine even without Kenneth Walker. Looking at the wide receivers, Jalen Naylor, that's a big loss, but they've got other guys coming back. Jaden Reed coming back, Trey Mosley coming back. This is not a team that's going to do a lot of five wide or anything like that. You don't have to have a huge group of wide receivers. So I think they're going to be just fine at wide receiver, about where they were last season. And then at tight end, as you continue to go down the list, Connor Hayward, a guy that could do a lot of things for them. They're going to miss him, of course. Really, really good player for Michigan State. Very versatile player. They do bring in Daniel Barker from Illinois. He was pretty solid for them last season, so expect him to step in there and probably be that go-to guy at tight end. On the offensive line for Michigan State, about half of the offensive line coming back. They do lose Matt Allen at center. Pretty big loss there. Kevin Jarvis, guard, another big loss, and a Curry at tackle. So three really good players there on the offensive line that they will have to replace. But I think that there's enough depth here on this team where they'll be okay. Maybe a bit of a step back on the offensive line. But again, they reload at running back. Guys coming back at wide receiver. Return your starting quarterback. I think the offense will be right where it was last season. On the defensive side of the ball now, starting with the defensive line, you lose some really good players there. Definitely, I think you probably are going to see this team take a step back on the edges. But they do bring Jacob Slade back, a guy that kind of plays in the middle there for them. So I think defensive line will be still pretty good for them. They're looking at the linebackers, pretty much everyone coming back there, including Quavarius Crouch, a guy that really emerged for them last season. So linebackers should be strong. Cal Halliday also returning for them as well. So I think that linebackers should be strong. Defensive line maybe a little bit of a step back. Looking at the secondary, almost everyone in this secondary coming back. Pretty much everyone is coming back. I know that was an area of weakness for them last season, but I think with a year off, or another off season, I should say, to go through, I think they're going to be pretty strong in the secondary, at least improved from where they were last season. Amir Speed transfers in from Georgia, a very talented kid there. And back to the offensive line, Brian Green transferring in from Washington State. Aaron Brule at linebacker will help them out from Mississippi State. Really talented kid. Chris Bogle from Florida will help them out on the edges. So I think they really did a nice job once again adding some pieces from the transfer portal to fill the holes for this team. And they've got a lot of guys coming back. So I think Michigan State's a team that people are sleeping on this year. A lot of people think, well, Kenneth Walker's gone. This team, it was a little bit of a fluke last season. They're not going to be that great this year. I disagree. Now, can they be better than they were last season? You know, 2-loss season, third in the Big Ten East. I don't know if this team can overcome Michigan and Ohio State, but I do think they're going to be really good again. I think they're going to have another chance to get to a New Year's Six Bowl. I'm not going to say that they're going to be better, although I think it's more likely that they're better than they are worse. One of the issues might just be that their competition in the Big Ten, but I'm going to say this team will be the same. I'm going to say in 2022, Michigan State will once again be a really good team, a team that can finish the year off with maybe a couple of losses, get to a New Year's Six Bowl. I really feel like they did, again, a very nice job in that transfer portal, adding some key pieces, and I think they pick up right where they left off. And who knows, maybe if a couple things go their way this year, they could even make a run at a Big Ten championship. That wouldn't shock me, because I think this team does have the talent there, and Mel Tucker has proven that he can get it done. So I'm going to say Michigan State will once again have a really good year. Not better, not worse, about the same in 2022.